the world, and then that's going to force somebody to fight us eventually.
Jack, I would be remiss, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about Kelly. Is there anything with Kelly going on? Are you aware of anything?
I'm not aware of Kelly. I've not talked to him. It's typical Pavlik as far as I'm concerned, and whatever Kelly does, I wish him the best. But as far as me and him, that's probably the end of that.
Is that sad?
It's sad in the way it ended, just because, as far as I took him and as far as we go back together, he hasn't had the decency at least pick up the phone and get a hold of me since he's been home from New York, and that's the only part that upsets me. When you can't control a fighter outside of the ring, it's time to walk away, and I have no control over Kelly outside of the ring anymore, and I refuse to take the heat for things that I can't control.
Jack, and again, do you ever think he'll fight again?
If he doesn't get his stuff together, there's a lot of bad elements in California too, and it's not anything that anybody else is doing around here that Kelly can't straighten out himself. So whatever he does here, he could obviously do in California, and running away from whatever the problem is, that's not the answer.
Are you bitter?
Bitter in the way it ended. Yeah, bitter we had a great run. Done a lot of good things. Like I said, the only thing that bothers me is, I took a lot of heat for a lot of situations that I had no control over. I have no control over this kid when he leaves this gym, what he does outside of the gym, and I took a lot of heat for many, many years, and I kept my mouth shut. I guess if I'm not part of Team Pavlik now, I can answer questions truthfully. So, good or bad, whatever comes out, comes out.
What else would you want to say to him?
I have nothing to say to Kelly. He had months since he came back from New York. He could have called me, picked up the phone, explained me. If he's going to California, God bless him and good luck to him. I hold no animosity over there. But when you leave because and look for another trainer, then obviously you're saying there's a problem there. And I think all of Youngstown knows the problem doesn't lie within the gym. It lies once he leaves the gym. And like I said, I don't have to be quiet no more, and I'm tired of taking the blame for something that I have no control over this kid when he leaves his gym, and what he does outside of his gym, I have no control over. His drinking, the problems he has, that's not me. When Kelly was doing the right thing, and we were beating everybody's asses, I was the best thing since chocolate pudding, and then all of a sudden he decides to go off the deep end, and that's my fault too. That's the unfair part. It's just not fair the way it ended, and I'm okay with that part of it, the ending of it. But it's just, I'm tired of taking heat for something I have no control over.
Jack, if you could sit down with him, what would you tell him?
Listen, I would try to do something that his father hasn't done, and at least be a father to him, and tell the kid to straighten up his personal life and forget about boxing right now. He needs some help. He needs to straighten up his life, and I don't think it has anything to do with Jack Loew or any of his friends. It's Kelly Pavlik, and I think that's an in-house thing, and I think his family should have took care of that a long time ago.
Is there any way this could be amended, you think?
Listen, we had a great run at it. I have no desire to work with Kelly no more. I wish him the best, and I really do. If he would go to California, drinking and doing what he's doing, and he becomes a world champion, and God bless him, because Kelly's a great kid. We're going to have fond memories. I go back to he's 9 years old, and I love the kid like a son. But I'm not going to take heat for this kid no more ever again for something I have no control over.
How disappointing is it for you to see it end this way?
Well, you know what? When the kid probably could have been one of the greatest fighters of all time, and I really believe that. He was unstoppable. He had that work ethic, and that's the disappointing part, because, no matter what him or his father says that they made Jack Loew, I'm the one that took him around the country all them years in amateurs. I'm the one that put a lot of time with him too. I never walked away from him neither. I stood by his side through all the lies and the things that we told all the people around the country of him screwing up. I'm the one that helped him out through all that stuff. And for him to walk away that way, that really bothers me, and not coming to talk to me personally. That's the part that bothers me.
Is he welcome in this gym?
No, he's not. It's over with, so I wish him the best. And it's not a pity Jack thing where I feel bad that, listen, we had a great run. I made a lot of money. I took a kid from 9 years old to the middleweight championship of the world, and there's not a trainer out there that could say they did that. But it's over with, and hopefully he moves on, and I'm obviously moving on, you know what I mean? So I wish him the best.
You've always said you considered him a son. Do you still feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. I listen, deep down I still care deeply about the kid. I don't wish no ill things on the kid. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. But like I said, a real father would step up to the plate and take care of his son outside of the ring, and quit worrying about what's going on inside the ring and that almighty dollar.
Jack, is this difficult for you to exit with him?
You know what it is? At first it was. I was a little upset, a little disappointed, but it's like one of those love relationships. After your girlfriend leaves you, you're heartbroken for a while, but then it turns to a little bit of bitterness, especially when it's none of your fault. You know what I mean? I don't tell Kelly what to do outside of his gym. I have no control over him. So what he's done is not me. You know, when we won the middleweight championship of the world, that's what I did. That was my contribute to Team Pavlik, and I did my job. You know what I mean? I feel like I said, the problems Kelly's had outside of the ring has to go back to family problems, and that's for them to deal with.
Do you have any problem saying with what you're saying? I mean, or has this just been building up to you?
Oh no! I mean, I've been waiting to been asked the question. You know, I obviously not being a member of Team Pavlik right now, I don't have to lie anymore. I don't have to make up excuses. You know, you ask me a question, you'll get an answer, and that's all there is to it.
Rick, you keep saying lies. What lies are there? I mean,
well, I mean, listen. You know, throughout the whole thing, we've made up a lot of things. You know, the kid had some problems outside of the ring, and myself, Del Torrio, the Schiavones, you know, my son, Hutter, you know, we all stuck up for him. You know, when he had problems outside of the ring, and I'm going to leave it at that, we took care of it. You know, as you would for your kid, as Tressel did for his football players, right or wrong, you know, we took care of the problems, whether it was smashing out windows or supposedly falling through windows or, you know, supposedly having broken ribs and supposedly just from being out the night before and not wanting to fight. You know, there's a whole lot of reasons. You know, but I'm not gonna run from things no more. I'm not gonna take heat from people no more about Jack Lowe's not a good trainer for Kelly Pavlik. I took a kid 9 years old to the middleweight championship of the world, and I think I had something to do with that. You know what I mean? And like I said, because he decided to go off that deep end, that's not a reflection on my training, that's for sure.
What are you most disappointed in him?
You know, that he's listening.
Let's change up.
Hey, all right. Dude, go get out of the way for a little bit.
What are you most disappointed in with him?
Well, the thing that really disappoints me the most, like I said, I've never walked away from the kid. You know, whereas his father didn't come to a few of our fights with us because he didn't get his way, and he walked away from Kelly. Cameron Duncan has lied to Kelly Pavlik numerous times. They were on the verge of getting rid of Cameron Duncan numerous times. You know what I mean? And all I've ever done is stick by Kelly's side, and like I said, help him out through all his tough times. And he's listening to his dad and Cameron Duncan. It's not Top Rank. I talked to Bob Arum, and you read his quote in the paper. Bob Arum said it's not Jack Lowe. We don't care if Jack Lowe trains him. Jack Lowe can come to California. I talked to Arum on the phone. I talked to Carl Moretti on the phone. I talked to Bruce Rampler on the phone. None of them. They agreed with Robert Garcia if that was their pick. They were okay with that pick. But they never told Kelly Pavlik, if you don't leave Jack Lowe, we're done with you. That was bull. You know, he's going around telling everybody that if he doesn't leave Jack Lowe, Top Rank, that's ludicrous. That's crazy. It came out of Bob Arum's mouth that he doesn't care if he stays with Jack Lowe. It's Cameron Duncan and his dad, and they got their way. Now we'll see what happens.
If the Pavliks or Kelly sees what we're going to air, I mean, is there any?
You know, listen, Kelly's going to get upset just like he did with Ray Mancini, and he'll go on one of his rages and he'll probably rip me apart. But listen, I mean, he doesn't hide things around town. People sees what he's doing out there. It's not just coming out of my mouth. I mean, you could walk anywhere in town and people are going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. You know, but I'm the one that got to take all this heat for what this kid is doing out there and what he's doing to his career. And by them making this ludicrous move and saying that they're moving to California or he's leaving for California because he needs to change trainers, that's crazy. You know, does he need to get out of Youngstown? Absolutely, because he can't control himself around here. But they have alcohol in California. They have cigarettes in California. They have everything in California that they have here. So I don't think the problem is running away from it. I think it is fixing it. And it just seems like nobody in that family wants to fix the problem. They just want to avoid it and move on. And, you know, I think they're in for a big letdown.
Do you feel, I mean, you obviously feel much better now.
Oh, I feel great. You know, you were the first one to ask me. Like I told everybody, if I'm not a part of Team Pavlik, I don't have to lie. You know, I don't have to make up any excuses no more for anything that's went on in Kelly's career. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, he's going around telling Chris Mannix and everybody's telling all these people, his dad and Cameron, that he's been working out since, he hasn't been in the gym one time, not this gym or any other gym in Youngstown, since he canceled the Lopez fight or the Cunningham fight. And, you know, and he's going around telling everybody he's in great shape, Cameron Duncan. I read these articles, and they're lying to these press people, and they're making them look like, the kid ain't been in the gym yet. You know, and listen, I know Kelly better than anybody. He's going to struggle going out to California.
Do you think he'll go to California?
That's up to Kelly. I hope he doesn't. I hope he gets clean and sober, and I hope he has a great life.
So you still feel that there's a, lack of a better term, an alcohol problem?
Absolutely.
Is your relationship over with him?
Absolutely. I mean, I can't, how could I have a relationship with a guy that after all we've been through, and you come home from New York, and you make one of the biggest decisions of your life and my life, and you don't have the decency to call me? I'm supposed to still bend over backwards for you? It ain't going to happen.
When's the last time you talked to him?
When he left here for after we canceled the Cunningham fight. That was it.
No talk, no.
I tried to text him, and that was it. He seen me at my amateur show, and I don't want 5 minutes at an amateur show. I think he owed me a little bit more than that.
Not that you can answer for him. Do you think that he feels the relationship is over?
Something you have to ask Kelly. You know what I mean? I'm sure it depends what kind of day you catch him on.
What about his relationship with his dad? Is that over with you?
With Mike Pavlik, that's the biggest relief in boxing. That's the biggest, this is supposed to be the best 12 years or 10 years, 11 years of my life. It's been the most miserable time in my life dealing with them people.
Where do you go, Jack? It's over with. You still have his pictures up here. I know you still consider him a member of your family, but as far as boxing, friendship, is that over?
Listen, I can't make the first move no more. It was his job to come see me after supposedly he was forced into a decision. He should at least have the decency to call me, and he never did. And, he could say what he wants to say. He could blow up and say whatever he wants to say. That doesn't bother me no more. My life's going to go on. I got other fighters. I have an asphalt chilling business. I have things outside of boxing to do, and I have good things in boxing. I have some good young kids. Will they make me the money Kelly Pavlik did? Probably not. And maybe they will. But you know what? I could always say I took a kid to the middleweight championship of the world, and hopefully I'll have other champions. And if not, life goes on. Man.
What do you say about the people in boxing who know more about it like me, that you were the problem? You weren't the problem, were you? I know that was written that you were, that there was talk of getting a new trainer, so on and so forth.
Right. Well, and if you ever notice, most of that talk always came from Mike Pavlik, Cameron Duncan, and the guys, the armchair quarterbacks that sit behind their thing, never played a sport in their life. The same guys that probably said Peyton Manning had to go after he lost the Super Bowl. Those are the guys. So those people don't matter to me. Mike Pavlik knows about as much about boxing as I probably do him selling insurance. He wouldn't know left hook from fish hook. He knows nothing about boxing, and he's a pretend manager, and he's raped his son for 10% of his purse. And Cameron Duncan hated me from day one because me and Kelly were so close, and I had control over Kelly. And Kelly came to me, and he didn't come to them guys. And that's how this all came. Well, now Mike and Cameron have their way, and now it's Kelly, Mike, and Cameron go to California. We'll see this leaves.
You're not holding back, are you?
Not at all. So I don't have to no more. I have nothing, it's not, listen, I'm not telling you anything that you couldn't go to the corner and ask somebody if they've seen Kelly out, where he's been, what he's been doing. It's not a secret. He doesn't hide it to people around town, so why do I got to keep my mouth shut? Why do I got to keep taking heat all the time that I was the bad trainer? Has nothing to do with training. When this kid was serious about boxing, we were a dominant force. And unfortunately, he decided to go to the other side of the fence, and it's cost him.
And I don't mean to use this term, but was it a charade sometimes for you?
It was a joke that we had to go through, what we had to go through sometimes to get him ready for a fight. And being a professional and what we had to do and go through, it was a circus.
As far as what can you enlighten?
It wasn't as fun as it should have been, and like I said, the kid could have went on forever, I felt. The kid could have went on forever, and he chose to go the other way.
I hear any of that.